Hello students. Today's chapter is Nasruddin's aim. Let's start. One day Nasruddin was chatting with his friends. He began to boast, "No one can match my skill in archery. I string the bow, take an aim and shoot an arrow. The arrow is sure to hit bang on the target." One day Nasruddin, he was just chatting, he was just talking with his friends, with his some friends. Here you can see, here is Nasruddin and is talking with his friends, okay, regarding archery. And he started to boast, and he said like that, "No one can match my skill in archery." He was just trying to show that he is very smart and very active in archery, okay. So he said, "I string the bow, take an arrow and shoot an arrow." He said like that, "The arrow is sure to hit bang on the target." He was just trying to say that whenever he shoot an arrow, that arrow will be hit that target. Hearing this, one of his friends immediately brought a bow and some arrows, giving them to Nasruddin. He said, "Here." Nasruddin took his bow and arrows. Then, pointing some towards a target, he said, "Aim at that target and shoot an arrow." To hearing these words, that one of his friends bring some arrows and bow, okay, and he gave to his friend Nasruddin and said, "Take this bow and arrows," and pointing that targets, and he said, "Aim that target and shoot that arrow." Nasruddin held the bow in his hands, strung it, aimed at the target, and shot an arrow. The arrow didn't hit the target. Instead, it fell down somewhere in the middle. His friends started laughing. They said, "Hey Nasruddin, is this your best aim?" "Oh no, not at all," said Nasruddin, defending himself. "This was not my aim, it was Ajad's aim. I just showed you how the Ajad shoots an arrow." Say this, Nasruddin pick up another arrow. And Nasruddin was holding bow and he strung it and he aimed at the target but did not hit the target, okay. Just instead of targeting, it fell down somewhere in the middle, and his friends started laughing. And they said, "Is this your best aim?" And he was just trying to defending himself, and he said, "No, no, no, it was not my target." And then he said, "This is Ajad's aim. I'm just trying to show you that how Ajad shot an arrow." Actually, he was just defending himself, okay. And he just picked up another arrow. Once again he strung the bow, aimed at the target and shot the arrow. This time the arrow fell a little farther than where had fallen before. And again he took one arrow and started. He strung the bow, but that also didn't hit the target. And that arrow also fell down a little farther than where the first had fallen down. Okay. But it certainly didn't hit the target. They asked Nasruddin, and this must be how you shoot an arrow. Of course not, argued Nasruddin. Even this aim was not mine, it was the chief guard's aim. Now somebody remarked, well, now who's next on the list? Hearing this, all the friends burst out laughing. Nasruddin didn't say a word. He quietly picked up one more arrow, and again, and this time Nasruddin was really lucky. The arrow hit bang on the target. And that second arrow also didn't hit the target, and every one of his friends said, Nasruddin, this is your target, and how you shoot arrow like this. And Nasruddin argued with his friends, no, this is not mine, even this is also not mine, it was the chief guard's aim. And now you can give some remark. And he said that like this, and he said like this, who's next on the list? And to hearing all these words, and his friends started laughing at Nasruddin, but Nasruddin didn't say anything to anyone. He just quietly took one more arrow and started to hit the target. And this time Nasruddin was really lucky, and that arrow hit back on the target. Everybody stared at Nasruddin, their mouths agape in amazement. Before anyone could say anything, Nasruddin said triumphantly, and did you see that? It was mine. It was aim. And this time, so really, he was lucky because that arrow directly hit the target, and everybody just staring at Nasruddin's, and their mouths was opened, and they were very amazing. And before anyone said anything, Nasruddin said, did you see that target? It was mine, and it was my target, he said. And students, this is our chapter has finished. Now let's do our exercise. And student, here are some exercise. Let's do question number 1. What did Nasruddin boast about? Answer. Nasruddin boasted about his excellent skills in archery. Question number 2. Why did Nasruddin take someone else's name each time he missed a target? Answer. Nasruddin took someone else's name each time he missed a target so as to hide himself from the shame of not being able to aim the target. Question number 3. Why did Nasruddin say it was my aim the third time? Answer. Nasruddin said it was my aim the third time because finally he was by then able to aim the target successfully. Question number 4. Do you think Nasruddin was good at archery? Answer. I think for me it's no. I don't think Nasruddin was not good at archery because he was not able to aim the target in his first and second turn. It was only in the third turn that he was able to aim the target fortunately. Thank you, student.